The podcast you are about to listen to is one of the many podcasts that is part of the College Huddle, the largest fan-led college sports podcast community on the internet. Fan-made, fan-driven, and fan-fueled. The College Huddle.
Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free!
Okay, next question.
I'm a horse football coach right now.
You know, it got shoved up, it got shoved, right?
What's up, Spartans fans? Welcome to episode 59 of the Spartan Savants podcast. The Spartans are still dancing in March. We moved on to the Sweet 16 after taking care of Bryant and New Mexico. It's, of course, Willy, joined by Nicky and Trav. I am assuming the mood is high after a successful first weekend. Nicky, how you doing?
Locked in. All I can think about is Ole Miss.
Yes, that's right. Very much. On to the next one. Travis, how about you?
Yeah, we're still alive, so survive in advance, and I'm happy. That's all that needs to happen here.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that Friday game looms quite large for all of us, but before we get into all that, we got a pretty good lengthy show. I'm assuming, or a lot to talk about at least. Given the first couple games for Michigan State, rest of the games of the first weekend, the upcoming game against Ole Miss, and then potentially another matchup for us against Auburn or Michigan. We'll check in on our Savants bracket is doing, and we'll even have some picks. But let's start with the wins over Bryant and New Mexico. You guys can go one at a time, game by game, or just overall thoughts. But Nicky, I'll start with you. What have you seen so far that maybe you like? Was there anything that's concerning you? Just give me your thoughts.
So both games, the slow starts were fantastic. That was really great. Both games kind of went how I thought they would go, because that's just kind of what our MO has been all season. Slow starts. Usually not this slow. Usually, like, we got better at being more even, maybe down by a little bit at half, but this kind of felt more like a late January game when we were really not playing ball at all in the first half, and we played that 2 to 3 minutes of just incredible basketball that gets us even. And we just smother them at the end, especially for that New Mexico game.
Yeah.
Cohen Carr is God. I think that's self-explanatory there. But, yeah, it's nice knowing that we could beat New Mexico, who I actually think is a pretty tough matchup against us. We could beat them without our best player basically playing it all until the last 3 minutes. So that really gives you confidence. But we have to cut the crap and do better.
Yeah, definitely need Jace Richardson to pick it up a little bit, but have to like what you're seeing from Cohen Carr. I thought definitely some other standout names in both games, but Trav, what about you?
Yeah, I had a lot of the same. I think with the Bryant game, the slow start obviously didn't hurt us as much, but you also saw like the depth kind of went out there. We had 5 guys in double figures. Obviously, Cohen Carr was the lead guy in that game after they said that they shouldn't be scared of him. Well, look at that now. It was interesting to see the rotation get trimmed going into that, especially with the big guys. I looked at the minutes earlier. Zapala and Booker played a combined 7 minutes in that game. So that was an interesting change. I wonder if that, at least off of that game, I was wondering if it was just matchup based on the height and the scoring ability that some of their big guys had. But other than that, it was exactly what you thought. Obviously, you'd like it to not be as close at the beginning, but at the end of the day, it's a 25-point win, and that's exactly what you hope to come out with in that first round game, especially not having played in a few days.
Mm-hmm.
Then second round, New Mexico, it was tighter than I expected. I did not expect it to be that close. I was a little concerned. Obviously, the slow starts are concerning, but I was a little concerned with the way our bigs have been playing defensively. especially in that game. Forget the dude's name, but he was all over the place. We couldn't stop him. Yeah. So I mean, that was concerning to see. It was good to see them pick it up in the late first half and continue it in the second half. And it really helped when I think our depth again showed when we got him to foul out. And that obviously, I'm not going to say that gave us the game, but that definitely helped.
Yeah, I agree on a lot of what you said there. I think my first takeaway was it's almost like watching a boxing match the way we played, and it's kind of been like that all year. It's not necessarily something new, but just focusing on these two games specifically, it's kind of like we take the first few possessions or even minutes, or sometimes in the first half, to kind of take a few blows, feel them out a little bit, and then second half comes and we really start to wear them down, and that just goes back to our depth. I think in both games you really saw. I mean, the Bryant game, they did not have the depth to keep up talent wise.
Yep.
They didn't have they had no fresh legs at the end of the game. They couldn't make shots, and I think the same could be said for New Mexico. I mean, it seemed like someone put a lid on towards the end of the game, and obviously the foul trouble with Nelly Jr., whatever his name is. I think that is, was a good recipe there. He was obviously doing damage to us. But Fear's done a great job of drawing fouls. Obviously, Cohen Carr, I thought, has had two fantastic games. Obviously one really sticks out more than the other. The bigs, Kohler, I think is playing fine. I don't think you're not going to notice maybe his impact in the stat sheet. He hasn't been great offensively, but I still think he's tenacious on the rebounding, on the boards. I think that there's not a ball that he doesn't think he can get in terms of rebounding. But my takeaway just has been the depth. That's probably my biggest takeaway. I think that's really shown, and it's been our calling card all year, so it makes sense that it will be in the first couple. I do think the Jace, he didn't look great. Jace Richardson didn't look great in game one or game two. I don't know if that's just jitters or what. I'm not overly concerned. I mean, the guy is allowed to have an off night. He's been averaging 18 points a game for the past.
He got 17 points against Bryant.
Okay, maybe it was just the
one
there from my end. But I think the 3-point shooting, honestly, versus Bryant, totally fine, 34%. I think we can all agree that 4 for 15 is not great against New Mexico, but I think they made some timely ones, which really was when it matters most. But again, I think that moving forward, I just think the slow starts. I know that's kind of been the script, right? I know that a lot of games are close at halftime that we play in, and then we pull away. I have no problem, playing this like a boxing match or feeling the other team out. It's just there's only so many times you can get down by 10 or more and not have it come back to bite you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean we've the last 5-6 games we've started shooting free throws like shit too.
Yeah, that's also
concerning. It's concerning.
Yeah,
we were like top 3 in the country or whatever for the longest time. And
we're like 69% now, and we were like 80.
we were like mid 80s at one point.
And it's the guys that are good at free throw shooting that are missing them. Like I think Carr, who's probably like a 65% shooter from the free throw line, has missed one or two that I can.
Yeah, he's been our best one, honestly.
He was fantastic in both games.
Here's an Aikens, like just
Yep.
Holloman was like 96% at one point.
Yeah.
For Aikens, honestly, whatever. Just make threes.
He made some really key shots in that New Mexico game.
Let me tell you, I thought Aikens played fantastic against New Mexico. Yeah. And there's other people I thought did too. Fiddler, I thought was great.
Fiddler.
Without him, I'm not sure we would have. I mean, that game would have been a lot closer. He made some big plays at the right time. But Aikens, I thought, did such a nice job finishing against New Mexico. I read something or heard something on someone's podcast that Izzo was telling him just shoot the three because he had missed a layup or something, and Izzo was telling him, that guy's too big. It's gonna be a tough shot. Maybe just shoot the three. And he was like, "No, I got it. I'm gonna make that." And he did a great job finishing all night.
The dunk was nice too.
Yes, yeah. I'm still waiting for a Cohen Carr absolute rim breaker.
They've missed a couple. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, there's not too much to complain about. I think that I'd be lying if there wasn't.
I got one more.
Oh, let's go.
Stop letting Carson Cooper dribble, please.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. What is with the bigs putting the ball on the floor so often?
God. No.
I too, Trav, to circle back on something you mentioned earlier, the Zapala, it's interesting that he's starting the games, but really plays 4 or 5 minutes and then kind of doesn't get hasn't gotten a lot of burn after that. And I think Zapala, you tell him you got 5 fouls, use them, but him and
Especially
Cooper,
if we end up playing Auburn.
Right. Yeah. Him and Cooper have put the ball on the ground a few times. And I'm just like, what are you this is not what you do. This is not your game.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's like an automatic turnover pretty much.
Yeah. It's like forget about it. But another point you made too in a similar thought was the tightening of the rotation. And I applaud that they've done that one because I think that this time of year, that's kind of what's necessary. I didn't think that Izzo necessarily, I don't want to say had the balls. I don't think Izzo was afraid to tighten up the lineup. I just am surprised that he did it, given all the politics with everything going on and keeping players and keeping people happy. But Booker down the stretch, he has not been great. No. So I don't necessarily blame them. Yeah. I thought Bryant would be his best chance at getting actual.
He got 3 minutes.
Meeting minutes, and we came in at the end with the walk-ons.
Yeah.
That's been an interesting development.
Yeah, I think he's scout team the rest of the year. Unfortunately,
that's fine for the rest of this year's. Hopefully, stick around. It's not what we thought we were getting when we signed him, but
I think the rotations have been pretty good. They've been able to go small. We saw them get burned a little bit when they went small versus New Mexico. But that big was doing damage on everyone. So I thought they did a really nice job against Bryant. I think Carr was playing the 5 at some points.
That's what I was gonna say. His defensive, his jumping ability and athleticism on the defensive end is a huge boost for being able to play small. He's only 6'5", and you can play him at the 5.
Yep. Yeah.
You don't see that very often.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. Any other thoughts on those 2 games? I think we pretty much got through all my thoughts. The rebounding has been great. Bryant.
What was it? 54.
Yeah, 54 against Bryant with 21 offensive rebounds. 34 against New Mexico, 11 offensive rebounds. So, definitely got to keep that going.
Agreed.
Yeah. Defense travels.
Yeah. Sorry, my dog's barking. It just made me lose my train of thought. The rest of the first weekend, not a ton of upsets, which is one bracket I picked a lot of chalk, so that's doing okay. But the upsets have been like Wisconsin losing to BYU. They haven't been anything too crazy. There was 12 versus 5s, I believe.
11-6.
Yeah.
Drake over Missouri.
Yeah. Yep. And not a ton of madness. There was one buzzer beater, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
Overtime games. Yeah. There's a big national discussion going on now. Everyone thinks this is what the tournament's going to be moving forward with NIL. You guys have any thoughts there?
I hope it's not the case. Let's just put it that way.
I actually have a lot of thoughts. I think people just need to shut the fuck up and stop complaining because last 2 years were all upsets, and everyone was complaining, oh man, none of the good teams are in the tournament after week 2. Like this, the better basketball. This also this happens like once every 15 years. You get a chalky bracket, so like that is pretty much like the status quo is pretty much still how it is for March.
Yeah,
people are going to complain no matter what. Like if the upside, people would be mad that not good teams are playing this week, or they're going to be mad that all the good teams are playing this week. Like,
yeah,
I agree. The upsets are really only cool while they happen.
It's not us.
It's not great when the 15 seed is playing this weekend against a 3 seed or however it would play out. That's just not fun. Now we're all upset. So I think you hit the nail on the head, Nicky. I probably couldn't have said it much better myself. Moving on, unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about.
I was just gonna say I think we got a pretty good, entertainment value slate of games coming up. So
I agree.
It's working out the way it should.
Yeah. I think for me, there was just not a lot of really close games. Like there wasn't a lot of games. Even forget the upsets. There just wasn't a lot of games that came down to the last possession or two. I think there were a couple games where the one that sticks out, North Carolina, Ole Miss, where North Carolina got it, maybe even had a lead, and then the last 4 minutes, couldn't score, and then Ole Miss ended up winning by 6 or 7. It didn't feel as close as it was, but it is what it is. To me, it's it's March, baby.
Yeah.
So, sorry, was you gonna say something?
Okay.
Moving on to Ole Miss here. Definitely a tall order for the Spartans. Favored by 3.5. And before I get too into it, I think the Spartans, looking back, got a pretty good draw. A lot of those 7-10, when you're the 2 seed, that 7-10 matchup, you could be playing a team that, at a 10 seed's really, really good 10 seed. I think UConn, I know they were 8-9, but how would you want to be the number 1 seed in that bracket and have to play UConn in the second round? That sucks.
Or St. John's, Arkansas.
Right. Exactly. Another good one. Yeah. So looking back, the Spartans got a pretty good draw. Having said that, I think Ole Miss, a very formidable foe. Spartans are favored by 3.5. And Ole Miss, they do a lot of things good. I mean, they're this point guard, Padula, I think he's a point guard. He was really impressive against North Carolina. Looked like everything was going in. And they're another deep team. I mean, they've got 1, 2, 3,
play
4,
8
5,
deep.
6. Yeah, I think they've got 9 guys. It looks like that play 10 or more minutes. 2 of those guys played 10 minutes, but the rest played 20 or more. So a team that's pretty deep. I mean, I don't know size-wise how they stack up, but
they're a little.
Yeah, they have a 7-2 guy who never really plays.
Okay.
Yeah, I think their tallest guy who plays is 6'9".
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's where I was going with that. Yeah.
And I mean, they've got 5 or 6 guys that are all averaging 10 points or more. Most of those guys are right around 10. They've got one guy, Padula, that's averaging 15. Tournament, they've shot the ball pretty well from 3. They're 19 for 39, 48, almost 49%.
Yeah, that's pretty well. That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's much better than they're on the season numbers. They're 34% for the season.
Yep. So that'll be an interesting matchup. I mean, obviously everyone knows Michigan State's 3-point defense is pretty much their calling card. And Michigan State shot the ball fine from 3, 34%. I think that's pretty accurate to what we are. I don't think they're underperforming or overperforming there. But before I go too deep, I'll throw it to Nicky. Anything sticking out about Ole Miss?
So one thing is they're the 3rd most experienced team in college basketball, age-wise. So that could be a little terrifying. None of them, because there was this chart that came out that I sent you guys that shows starting lineups on every Sweet 16 team, and I don't think there are any Ole Miss started at Ole Miss. So they're not that used to playing with each other, I guess. But the bad thing for us is that they are 4th in the nation on turnovers per game. So they hold on to the ball very well. And they force turnovers pretty well too. I'm honestly surprised. I thought we forced turnovers better than it seems we're ranked, but whatever. But the big thing that's good for us is that the two big things is one, they are horrible at giving up fouls. So get us to the line, shoot 80%. That's all I'm asking. Shoot 80%. And they are horrible, like just disgustingly bad. One of the worst in the nation at rebounding. So I think Jackson Kohler is this is going to be the Jackson game.
Yeah, averaging about 6 rebounds less per game than we are. Definitely some interesting points there. I think the rebounding is going to be a key factor. Not turning the ball over. We've been a little sloppy with the ball. Fears hasn't been fantastic, and obviously the bigs. We talked about that. But Travis, what about you?
Yeah, number one concern for me right now is Chris Beard. We don't play. We played him once that I can recall, and it did not go well. I can't like. I feel like they may have played a zone during that game. I can't really remember that the details quite that much back then. But Tariq Owens was the difference maker for them on defense at Texas Tech. I think that was more like he played kind of like the Cohen Carr role for them back then, although he probably didn't jump that far, jump as much. But then also we talked about the slow starts earlier. This is a game where you cannot afford to start that slowly.
Yeah,
at all. We will find ourselves down 20 in a hurry and playing the script from last year. The vanity come back and lose by 10 because it's not a viable strategy going forward. Obviously, it's not really a viable strategy in either of those two games, but we were just that much better than those other teams. So with a team like this that has had its share of like bad games against close games against bad teams, but yet also beat some very, very good teams. You can't like leave any of that to chance.
Yeah, no, I agree. Nicky, did you have something?
One thing that this literally means nothing, but it does make me a little bit nervous. Is the fact that this game is at State Farm Arena, and we played the Champions Classic there this year, and we shot, I think, 3 for 20.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. And I remember at the time saying we'll be good as long as we don't play big games in Atlanta. Well, here we are. So,
the balls will be different this year. For this game instead of the Champions Classic, we'll have the Wilson balls that they use for the. I don't know what balls they use in the Champions Classic. I guess I shouldn't say that they'll be different, but I'm pretty sure they use different balls.
Just go with it.
Yeah, why not? Different balls.
Yeah, I think, right? No, the coaching matchup is fantastic. Obviously, I think you're right, Trav. I think they've only played once that I can remember. Two very good coaches. Yeah,
Izzo's reaction when they asked him about it after the game said it all. He was like, "Can I just enjoy this? I don't want to think about that."
Yeah. I think that I don't want to say stick to the script because I don't want to be down too much early to Trav, like you mentioned. Like this, Ole Miss is a team, especially the way they're shooting right now. And if the two games are a sign of what we can expect, I mean, let's just say they shoot 40% instead of 48%. You get down 10 could turn to 15, which can turn to 20 really quickly.
Yeah.
Now they probably haven't played a team that's as good defensively as us in this tournament so far. In fact, I know they haven't. But we got to come to play. Richardson cannot go 1 for 10. That's just not gonna do it.
We need him the rest
of
the game.
I'm so confident that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Yep. And I'm with you. I feel confident. Again, like I said earlier, the guys had one off night in the past month or two. I mean, the guy's been averaging 18 points a game for the last since basically the Oregon game, which was in late January, I think. So, or February. But it's the time of year too where it's like you're not playing a bad team at this point. There's no one's made it this far that's bad. There's certainly, if there was upsets, there's teams that we could say we're more talented, but anyone who's still playing is playing very good basketball. So, anyone who was hoping for a game that would just be a cakewalk, I think that was a bit of a pipe dream, pie in the sky thinking. But I think the recipe for winning is straightforward as it has been. I mean, shoot threes better than 30% and rebound and play defense, and which is all things that we are very capable of doing, I think.
Yeah.
So, any thoughts on the line? Are you surprised, favored? Would you think we'd be favored by more?
I was hoping we'd be favored by like 5.5, but I get it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd be hoping more, but I think Chris Beard and the way the matchup looks helps them a lot.
Yeah, no, I agree. The State Farm Arena is probably my biggest concern.
Okay, I'm glad that it's not just me, because that actually kind of scares me.
No, that would have scared me too. I just didn't realize it till you said it. So,
but
yeah,
Kansas also shot really poorly. So maybe if it just
True.
maybe
but look where they are now.
So no team will be shooting well.
Yeah.
If nobody's
Maybe,
shooting well, then we're Gucci.
Yeah.
Fair point.
State Farm Champions Classic uses a Spalding basketball for its games.
Okay.
And I know the NCAA Tournament uses Wilson.
Yeah.
So it is a different basketball.
They shouldn't change the basketball.
No, they shouldn't do that. It does feel like a difference.
Yeah. No, I think the State Farm thing is big because you know what? It's if it's in our heads, it's also in the players' heads. Like they know. Remember last time we were in this building how poorly we shot. So hopefully,
hopefully they take the positive spin on that.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
Not like, oh shit, I can't shoot in this building.
But the free throws too. I mean, we got to start shooting better from the free throw line. You look at teams that lose games in March, and I don't know what the stats are here, but I feel like a lot of times they're missing the front end of 1-on-1s. Missed free throws will come back to kill you. So that's hopefully something that will get straightened out. I don't know what's going on there. Sometimes to me, it doesn't look like he's using his legs when he's shooting free throws, but I am not a shot doctor. So
he's too busy talking trash, although I love it.
He is a trash talker.
So fun.
He was telling me as though he wanted to win the game more than him. So awesome. There are a bunch of
that.
I actually think this team has to win. Like these guys are. That's one thing that just makes you feel so good is these guys are psychos.
Yep. I agree. Yep. No doubt about it. Let's just check how Ole Miss is shooting from the free throw line these days. Oh.
We're doing that.
73.8.
Is that for the full season or like the past couple games?
That's for the full season. And we are 78.1. So full season.
Well, lately we've been like 16 or whatever.
Yeah. I guess I could
Um,
look back the past two games.
Speaking of psychos, just random sidebar.
Did you have something else, Nicky?
Yeah, it's random sidebar. Dan Hurley not Dan Hurley, but the guy telling the person who took the video of Dan Hurley, "I'll ruin your life," is very funny. I've been laughing about that for the past 2 days.
Did we get cut off there?
Oh, did you guys?
I heard you.
Oh, okay. It might have just been me then.
Oh, yeah. I was saying the guy at UConn, not Dan Hurley, but like this AD or whatever, saying that saying I'm going to ruin your life to the guy that took that video is very funny.
Yeah, Dan Hurley is a psycho.
I'm telling you, dealing with those sports communication, sports information directors, that shouldn't fly. I have yet to run into somebody who would say something like that to anybody in those positions.
Yeah. That's great. I saw that. I don't know if this was if this tweet was true, but I saw that he was going to be suspended for 3 games and had to write a letter of apology, and there was like a $20,000 fine.
There's no way.
That sounds
right?
Fake. That sounds very fake.
I agree. I also have a stat correction from earlier. I said that Ole Miss had 34 rebounds against Iowa State. They actually had 35. I'm sorry, they had 29. I keep looking at the wrong stats. They had 29, 6 offensive, 23 defensive rebounds. So a little less than originally forecasted in terms of rebounding.
That seems like a game prime for a Cohen car dunk.
I agree.
Oh, yeah.
I agree. I agree. Any more thoughts on Ole Miss before we?
I mean, let's just get out and run a little bit.
No,
Yep.
I'm just going to say it. I kind of think we're going to beat the shit out of them.
I feel pretty confident.
I know they're really good, but it just kind of feels like we're going to come out hot. Like these guys are very unsatisfied with their last 2 games.
Oh, yeah, they should be.
That does seem to be. Yeah. I know I saw something from Jackson Kohler, how he was pretty upset with his performance. I don't want them to put too much pressure on themselves, just because there's naturally already a lot of pressure in this game. Yeah. But it's nice to see that they know that they can be and should be better. So, but I'm with you, Nicky. I feel pretty confident. I have respect for Ole Miss and the team they have put together and what they've done, and certainly Chris Beard. But I'm not afraid of them. I've gotten some text from some of our other friends this week that are like shaking in their boots. And I'm just kind of like, well, one.
You broke up.
Yep. Okay. I thought that was just me at first.
No, yeah. All right. Well, we lost Willy. Okay. But
There's
yeah,
number 1.
He's played very good teams all year, and they've never been out of the game.
We did not hear
You completely broke up. When you said what? You said 1, and then it broke up.
Oh well, the point was 1. It's March, and there's 16 teams left. We're not playing anyone bad. I mean, I could handpick people from other sides of the bracket that I would rather play, but that's just not how it works. And 2, we've played very good competition all year, and we've never been out of a game. Even the games we've lost, we never lost by more than 8. So, unless something crazy bad happens and we really play poorly, there's no reason to think we shouldn't be in this one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Looking across the South bracket here, the other game, Auburn, Michigan. Lots of talk this week about if you'd want to play Michigan, blah, blah, blah. Let's just put ourselves in a world, not that I'm assuming we'll win, but let's live in a world where Michigan State wins on Friday. This is not a jinx situation or anything. I'm not saying anything. I just said let's live in a world where Michigan State wins. Who would you rather play, Auburn or Michigan? Or the better question, do you want to play Michigan?
No, I don't want to play Michigan, but I kind of would rather play them.
Yeah, I think there's 2 different answers to that. There's responses different depending on the question.
No, I wouldn't rather. I don't want to play Michigan, but I'd also rather make the Final Four, and I think that's much higher probability. It's very hard. It's very hard to beat a team 3 times, but it's also very hard to beat a team once that skull fucked you twice. So that's kind of.
I also don't want to be in a position where it's either we go to the Final Four or Michigan does. I don't want that possibility. Yeah.
The thing for me is with Michigan is that it's not. Let's say we play them and we win, they'll just go back to acting like they don't care about basketball, and we're in the Final Four, and that's great. Like, trust me, if that's the outcome, I don't really give a shit what Michigan people think.
Yeah.
But if we lose to them, then they'll just forget that the first 2 games happened.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden they'll care about basketball. And it's just not a great. But having said that, like you guys said, if the choice between who we play is between Auburn and Michigan, I'll take the team we've already
beat twice.
The thing is, we've already spanked them twice. We don't need to prove our dominance over them anymore. But I mean, versus Auburn, we're probably 4.5 point dogs. Versus Michigan, we're probably favored by 5.5 or 6.5.
Yeah. Beating Auburn would be sick.
It would be.
The number 1.
It would be.
That would feel a lot like that Duke game.
Yeah.
From 19.
Yeah. I agree. No, I agree. It's a tough question. I mean, I don't know. What game outside of ours, and let's take out Auburn and Michigan, are you looking forward to most?
I got a little weird one. I'm going to say Maryland Well, actually, I would say Maryland, Florida, but it sounds like their coach is not. I mean, he'll still be coaching, but imagine the buy-in is not going to be quite as much there. But I'll still say Florida, Maryland.
Okay. I know mine, but I'll let you go first, Trav.
I'll go Tennessee, Kentucky.
That's a good one too.
That's the border war.
Yeah.
Inter conference rivalry there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm gonna go BYU, Alabama. I think there's gonna be a lot of points in that one.
Yeah, I looked at that one too.
Yeah.
That's who I was gonna go with, and then I saw the Tennessee Kentucky games. Like, that's a good one too.
Yeah. I mean, I think the games are good. I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
Purdue, Houston. That's a good one too.
Yeah. Arkansas, the lone underdog Arkansas with John Calipari as the coach.
Whoa, pig.
Yep.
I saw someone tweet saying they want Auburn to beat Michigan, but they want Michigan to start a fight during the handshake line that gets like all of Auburn's players suspended for the next game.
There you go.
That's
not out of the realm of possibility.
Could you imagine if we played Michigan, if we both win, we played Michigan and then Michigan just started like a fight and like just got us eliminated?
I would be so beside myself if something weird happens like that.
I don't think that would happen.
Hey, probably not. You want to check in on our bracket, see how we're doing?
Yeah, let's do it.
I think we picked too many upsets.
We're actually we're in very solid shape.
Are we?
Yeah. Let me see.
Can we share screen?
Yeah, I'm getting it.
One of my brackets was doing so good until like Sunday, and I can't find the games.
Oh my god!
Holy shit!
Nice. Oh yeah.
That's not bad.
We should have chosen Michigan.
Yeah, I believe we went 27-5 in the first round.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right, who do we have coming up?
Yeah, that Louisville Creighton game. I was on the other side, and you guys outnumbered me.
Nicky talked that Louisville and Lexington talk, and it convinced me.
All right, so how you want to do this?
I just want to see who we've got. We had A&M beating Auburn, so no more points from there. Obviously, we have MSU.
Yeah, that's looking really good.
We had Ole Miss going where they went. That's nice.
Yeah,
good picks there.
We had Marquette beating New Mexico.
Yeah, it's tough.
We had Oregon beating Arizona.
That was a close game.
Yeah. We also had Wisconsin beating BYU.
That's tough.
I remember that was a toss-up for us too.
Yeah.
You guys were not BYU guys, so
yeah.
I was so high on Wisconsin. They shoot free throws well. They shoot threes well. They fucking.
Tanji was playing lights out.
Yeah. Let's see. We've got Houston,
Purdue. We had that one.
Okay.
We had Florida and Maryland too, but we had Memphis going instead of Colorado State.
Okay. We've got Kentucky. So they're still rolling.
Oh, yeah.
We had
UCLA winning that one.
Do we have all the sweet?
Oh, we had UCLA.
No, we had
Tennessee.
We had UCLA
over Tennessee. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll still get points if Kentucky wins this game.
Right. Yeah. We had UCLA in the Sweet 16, and we had Oregon in the Sweet 16, and we had Wisconsin in the Sweet 16.
Okay.
And A&M. So we missed those.
No,
we missed like four.
Oh,
maybe let the Michigan bias get the best of us. And then how are we looking on the other side?
It looked like they were going to pull that out for the longest time. But,
oh my gosh, I know. Michigan came out of nowhere.
Yeah. What did you want to know?
The lower left. What is that? Midwest.
Florida bracket. That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're doing pretty good here, right? We've got all of our. We've had this.
Yeah, we got everybody still alive. I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Arkansas. We
we had Arkansas State.
Yeah, we knew that one. Nailed it.
West was pretty.
I mean, St. John's. What up?
Oh, that was the most obvious thing.
I mean, that was so great. Truman showed me his bracket. He said St. John's in the Final Four. I said, "You're screwed. You're screwed."
Oh.
What an idiot.
Hey, we had the McNeese upset too. That's right. That's
Nice.
cool.
Okay. I mean, that's dang.
Nice.
That's
Yeah,
impressive.
I told you.
Percentile?
Yeah, we were at
Months.
96.7 percentile.
Oh wow.
Hell yeah. That's great.
Doing much better than my individual bracket, I'll tell
Yeah,
you
same.
that.
Maybe we'll win. Maybe we'll win the bracket challenge and get rich.
It may be
That money
be
would
cool.
be very useful right now.
for all of them. Sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I wasn't talking about just me.
Okay. Well, that's great. Something to monitor.
Mhm.
Not bad. I mean,
All
we're
right.
still ranked 792nd.
Yeah.
792,000.
That's a weird rank, but it's
I
a
thought
high
it-
percentile.
Yeah.
Like 792 in general. Like that's
We've
incredible.
got a lot of people between us and the prize, but that's pretty good. I mean, that would be winning in a lot of my bracket groups.
I think it'd be winning in all of them.
And by all of mine, I mean the only one of the men.
The one that you made, that one.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Do we have anything else before picks?
No.
I don't think so.
All right. Okay. Well, it's the Sweet 16, so I've got 8 games.
You want me to play the music or no?
Yeah, play the music.
Yeah,
We haven't
play
heard
the
it in a while.
Oh yeah.
All righty. Do not know where the standings are. We'll have to go back and have that for you next
At this
episode.
point, who cares?
Yeah, you're right.
I'm
All right.
kidding, obviously, Nicky.
Starting off in the East bracket on Thursday, the 6th-seeded BYU Cougars will take on the 1-seeded or 2-seed, 2-seed Alabama Crimson Tide.
Yep.
Crimson Tide favored by 5.5.
You know, BYU's done us some damage in our bracket, so I'm gonna ride with the Cougars on that one.
I'll go Alabama.
I took your pick, didn't I?
I'm gonna go with BYU. Moving over to the west side of the bracket, Big Ten team here, 4th-ranked fourth-seeded Maryland Terrapins take on number 1 seed Florida Gators. Florida favored by 6.5.
I can see it being closer, but I'm gonna go with Florida.
I'll go Maryland's Crab 5, baby.
Crab.
Yeah, I think Florida might pull away late. The Kevin Willard stuff, I think probably makes Florida a popular pick here. I'll probably be on the square side of this, but I'm going to take Florida as well. Back to the East region, 4th-seeded Arizona Wildcats take on the number 1 seed Duke Blue Devils. Duke favored in this one by 9.5. Biggest spread out of any of the games.
Yeah, Duke. I was debating taking Arizona with the spread, but no, I'll go Duke.
Yeah, Duke is just like they're too much. Dude, luckily we won't have to deal with them for a little while if we do.
I'll take the opposite side here. I'll take the points in Arizona. The Cinderella story, Arkansas Razorbacks coming into the 10 seed will take on the 3-seeded Texas Tech Rebels. 5.5 point favorites, Texas Tech.
Yeah, I think Texas Tech is going to be too much. They got the Grant McCaslin defense with some better offense than what he had at North Texas a couple of years ago. So I think Red Raiders.
We've chosen opposite every single one. I'm going Cal and the Razorbacks.
Oh, I'm so tempted to do Arkansas. I think Texas Tech is good. I'm gonna try with Trav here and go Texas Tech. All right. Moving over to the Friday games now, starting in the South, the 5th-seeded Michigan Wolverines will take on the number 1 overall seed Auburn Tigers. Auburn is favored by 8.5.
I mean, I'm not going Michigan if that's what you're asking.
That is exactly right. You'll be taking Auburn. Nicky?
I can't do it. I'm going Auburn.
Yeah, I can't do it either. I'm hoping that this mini Cinderella story. I mean, they're playing good basketball right now. Two solid bigs, but I'm going to take Auburn as well. Go to the Midwest bracket now. 3 seed Kentucky takes on 2 seed Tennessee. A little inner SEC matchup here. Tennessee favored by 4.5.
I think Tennessee wins, but I've taken too many favorites so far, I think. So I'm going to go with Kentucky on the spread.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to go Tennessee.
I'll go Kentucky here. Tennessee run ends Friday night. Okay, Midwest. 4 seed Purdue versus 1 seeded Houston. Houston favored by 8.5.
Yeah, I'll go Houston. I think they got too much, especially with that defense. They got a little too much.
Yeah, Purdue sucks. We go Houston.
All right, I'll go with Purdue. I'll wave the Big Ten flag here. I'll take the points at Purdue. Okay, obviously the one everybody's waiting for. Number 6 seed Ole Miss in the South bracket takes on 2 seeded Michigan State Spartans. Spartans favored by 3.5. I'll take score prediction as well.
I will say Spartans 77, Ole Miss 70.
Spartans, it's going to be a close-ish game. We're going to pull away late. Spartans 79, Ole Miss 66.
Wow, okay, nice. I will, in a shocking turn, also be taking the Spartans.
Whoa.
I'll go Spartans 74 to 69. There you have it. Anything else before we sign off?
Let's get them.
Just keep on. Survive in advance.
Absolutely.
Doesn't have to be pretty. Just got to be the right thing.
Absolutely. One thing I saw today, football, over under 5.5 wins. Gun to your head. Michigan State football, over under 5.5 wins.
I'll go over.
You want an actual gun to your head answer? Or do you want me to say over?
Give me what you think.
I mean,
I just kind of think we're going to suck for a while.
bowl eligibility is over. So,
yeah, I'm going to take the over. They can't be that bad again.
I don't know.
no, if they are, we got a problem.
Yeah, and hopefully they find Mel Tucker soon. He's out. He's on the lam.
Nobody check my house. He's not here. Don't worry.
I was about to make that same joke. Damn it.
Yeah, no.
Not hiding him. I would
have
never
not.
hide him.
Yeah, definitely not me, the guy whose Twitter name was Mel Tucker's henchman for a while. Definitely don't come to me. I have not
You
seen
do not
or
want
heard
to be a
from Mel.
henchman these days.
Yeah, I have not seen or heard from Mel in a while. But that'll do it for episode 59 of the Spartans Savants podcast. We will see you soon, I assume. Whether that's
pending disaster.
yes, yeah. One way or another, we'll be back this weekend or next week. Obviously, as always, subscribe on YouTube. Like Travis said, it's free. Anywhere you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, the ones. And shout out to the College Huddle as always. We appreciate them having us as the Spartan Savants, or as the Michigan State Spartans representative for them. You can always check out other representatives or other teams at collegehuddle.com. But for Nicky and Trav and myself, we will see you soon.
Go green.